Casey Kasem, or at least a really bad impression of Casey Kasem. Listen, I never said I could do impressions. Anyway, we're going to go back to the golden days of radio. Scott and Andy used to have a radio show. Just go along with it. They didn't, but pretend that they did. Pretend they had a college radio show, and we're going to listen to them play some of their favorite artists. Remember, keep your head in the clouds and your feet on the ground, and always keep reaching for the stars. I'm a very bad Casey Kasem impression. You know, Casey Kasem also voiced Shaggy. Yoinks!
The Flow Show 2025 with Scott and Andy. The Flow Show 2025 with Scott and Andy. The Flow Show 2025 with Scott and Andy.
Welcome to week 13 of the Emmy-nominated Throne Zone 2025 with your hosts, Scott and Andy. I'm Andy.
And I'm Scott. Hey, hey, hey. How's it going?
Hey, hey. Oh, how's it going, Scott? I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I know we've talked since Thanksgiving.
Dude, my Thanksgiving was the best ever.
Yes, it was, with your Cincinnati Bengals, and
Woo-hoo.
I gotta say, the Black Friday was pretty good for me, but we're not here to talk about the Bears. We're not here to talk about the Bengals. We're here to talk about mediocre fantasy football. So why don't we immediately jump into it with game number 1.
Game number 1.
Our first game on the slate this week is the Walt Disney Imp Daddies over the Maharajas Madness 159-89. It's a mercy rule. And, Scott, you were the high man. You now jump up to 4-9 with your record. Maharaja goes down to 7-6. Justin would have lost even if he was at 100%. And so the 0 that he got from Amon-Ra St. Brown because he got hurt didn't really hurt him that bad because he was not going to win against you this week, Scott.
Oh my goodness. My first high man of the year. My first mercy rule of the year. Couldn't come against a better guy. Mr. Croninger. Justin of the Croninger clan. It was Justin's second time to be mercy ruled. Do you know who the other person was that mercy ruled Justin?
I do not. I'm going to take an educated guess. Wait, it wasn't me, I don't think. Was it Kelly?
It was you, Andrew. Yes, indeed.
Oh, it was me. Wow. All right. Well, then I'm surprised I don't remember that as well as I should, because whenever you can beat Justin like that, it always feels good.
We're the only two to do it.
Yeah, Scott, you had an all-around great performance, so...
Well, he got a bad call bubba for Amon-Ra St. Brown, like you mentioned. That was his third time to have a bad call bubba. People just dropping out, getting hurt on Justin. I don't think these are just bad calls. They were just unfortunate that he had players that got hurt. But when you get 27 from your defense, which I did, and 19 from my kicker, which I did, and 33 from Bijan Robinson, which I did, and then Joe Burrow comes back to play, gives you almost 20, which happened. Oh, things are looking pretty good. Things are looking really good over in the Walt Disney camp, and I'm coming out for Spoiler Town, boys. So watch out. I'm coming to your city pretty soon. You better watch out for those Walt Disney Imp Daddies.
Well, that's all I could ask for. I was hoping that you could play the spoiler here, because as we're getting into the final weeks of the season, obviously it's time to start honing out the teams that are going to make the playoffs. So if you can beat the better teams in the league, God bless you, and thank you for doing it, Scott. The high man. Way to go.
It feels pretty good. I'll have at least one shot at one of you guys that's trying to get in. So, as a matter of fact, in the very last week, I could play big spoiler in the final game. We'll get to that later. But, yeah, it feels pretty good. It finally feels good to win a game I should have won. And I was like, I had to do it. If I got to get the high man to do it, I'll do it. And I did it. So, there you go.
Way to go, Scott. Getting that win over Justin. Justin, don't worry, man. Justin's not out of it. That's all I'm saying. I'm always looking over my shoulder for Justin. But that's pretty much all there is to say about our first game. And since we're not going to make it a 45-minute episode like last week, why don't we just get on to game number 2?
Game number 2.
In our second game this week, the Barstow Bats go to 9-4 as they give a beatdown to Double Trouble, who goes 5-8. Score was 134-74. Why, hey, it's another mercy rule. Double Trouble was the low man again. I've lost track of how many that would be, and they wouldn't even have been at 100 points if they could get their roster at 100%. So, yikes.
Yeah, actually for Alex and Skip, as low as they've been going, it's only the first time they've been mercy ruled, which is saying something. And But Kelly has mercy ruled 3 people so far this year, so he's been really laying on some points. And Alex and Skip, something they have a problem with Butterfingers. That rule we don't hardly use, but they've used it twice now, and both times for a quarterback. Lamar Jackson had 2 fumbles this time, and it was Daniel Jones last time. So they're having trouble scoring points, even though, they weren't the low man, but they were close, again, to being the low man. So double trouble, having lots of trouble. Skip, you got to get on Alex. I have a feel like Alex is doing this to you guys. So, Skip, you got to take charge here. Get that guy out of your meeting room.
They got all those young players that they're going to probably be kicking our ass with in the next couple of years. But for now, they can take the beatings. I don't care. Look, again, their name is on the trophy more than anybody else, so you're not going to get me to feel too sorry for either of those guys. I'm just saying.
I'm not going to feel sorry at all. But this might be the Bats year. You never know. Bats are sitting on top of the league right now.
Yeah, well, I got here in my notes that says, literally just says, look out for Kelly, first place, most overall points. So, Kelly, at this stage, if you fuck it up and don't win the whole thing, you'll do nothing but bring incredible shame upon your family and your franchise. So, pretty much you're in a no-win situation now, Kelly. You have to win or else you're going to look stupid. There. I've challenged you.
No pressure.
Hey, by the way, Scott, you know that Alex has mentioned before that he listens to this while he's at the gym, correct?
Yeah. I heard him say that.
Yeah, he said something about how he was laughing at it when he was on the treadmill and somebody looked over, or somebody once was watching, trying to see exactly what it was that he was watching. So we know that he's watching it at the gym. He's probably watching it with headphones. So no matter what you and I say, people at his gym can't hear us. But you know what we can do, Scott? We can fuck with the images. Yep, that's right. It looks like our beloved Alex is wanted for stealing underwear for the purposes of sniffing them. Oh, Alex. I hope the people at your gym right now aren't turning and looking at you. Although, let's be honest, knowing the images that we're going to be using, Alex has already pressed stop on this thing, and he said to himself, well, fuck those guys. I'm going to watch this when I get home. But I don't care. I still think it's funny. Maybe he's doing something where he can't reach his phone or his iPad. So there you go, Alex. That's what you get for letting us know personal information about you, like watching the show at the gym, and that you like to sniff underwear.
This episode is rated not safe for gyms.
The show never ends. All right, now that we've had our fun with that, let's get on to game number 3.
Game number 3.
In our third game, it's the Muppet Babies over the Bad Guys in a squeaker, 128-125, a close game that came all the way down to Monday night. It looked like it could have been anybody's game, and then it turned over to the Muppet Babies. Both teams are 8-5. Jacob would have won if he was at 100%, and he also would have won if both teams were at 100%. So I'm sure he'll be pissed off about that. And I just want to say this to you, Jacob. I know Caleb has let you down. He's getting the W's, but he's not putting up the points. But don't worry, I'm going to talk to Caleb. We're going to turn this shit around.
Yeah, it was a Chicago problem for Jacob because he started the wrong Chicago player. He started the running back, the Kyle Monangai. Is that how you say it?
Monangai, yes.
If he'd have started him and he had not started Caleb Williams, then he'd have got it right. But he switched it and he started the wrong guy. So it was a Chicago issue for Mr. Smith. And the Muppet Babies did well. They squeaked by. But it wasn't because of their defense. This is the third time that Connor has received a offensive defense award. That's a $10 award. He had a couple times with San Francisco, and this one was with Kansas City, got a negative. So he almost blew it with his defenses, cost him a total of $30 so far over the season. But he squeaked out the win, and he's sitting on top now, 8-5. He's challenging you, Andy, for the league lead in our house division right now. And you know what? Actually, by winning, Connor actually eliminated his dad from the playoffs, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Thank you for sharing that detail. You think Brooks hit him? I think he just hauled off and smacked him.
He may not have realized it, but yeah. But by the Muppet Babies winning, he needed to lose out for Brooks had a shot to get in. So, but did not happen. So there's your gift, Dad.
Well, I have a lot I could say about Connor, but I also think that a lot of it's going to be said in the Connor Fact. So why don't we just jump to the Connor Fact this week so that we can move on with the show.
During the League of Thrones draft, Connor promised to provide a weekly personal fact about himself. Since he has failed to do this, we will provide one for him.
After weeks and weeks of begging Connor to participate, he still chooses to ignore us. So regretfully, it's come to this. This week's Connor fact is the following. Connor likes to suck dick. Big fat honkin' dicks. Bags of dicks. All day suckers. Connor can't get enough of big throbbing cock meat. Now, is suggesting that Connor enjoys sucking cock childish and sophomoric? Yes. Is it homophobic? Undoubtedly. But is it at least a little bit funny? Oh, most definitely. And it's not like Connor didn't get a warning this would happen if he failed to participate. And in complete honesty, if that's the way you swing, Connor, that's totally fine and cool, and we wish you well. Live your best life and be happy. But God damn it, it's week 14 and I'm running out of ideas. I never expected this lame bit to go this long. Anyway, to wrap it up, Connor eats lots of dick.
This week's Connor fact has been brought to you by ChatGPT. Would you like to waste 20 minutes trying to create an image of Batman sloppily eating an ice cream cone only to be consistently thwarted by ridiculous copyright issues? Seriously, 20 minutes. That's time in your life you'll never get back. All just to try to create Batman with a face full of ice cream. Consider it a test of your mental stamina. See how long you last until you eventually start screaming at your computer like an unpaid underling. Andy's limit for one image is apparently 20 minutes. Game number 4.
Our fourth game this week is the Electric Mayhem over the CMK 95%, 100-70. Both teams go to 5-8, but, well, as you heard Scott say, it doesn't really fucking matter because the Electric Mayhem is done, so what more could you say? CMK would have won if they were at 100%. They would have got 41 more points, but not if both teams were at 100%. And, yeah, I mean, again, this game is meaningless, so I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, that's the way it turned out. Tony had a chance of getting into the playoffs, but that was eliminated by Brooks winning, and then Brooks had a chance, but he was eliminated by his son winning. So both teams ended up at the same record, and they're both out of the playoffs, 5-8. As a matter of fact, they have the Imp Daddies breathing down their necks for not to be the low man of the year. I'm coming for both of these guys as they scramble around like I've been doing the whole season. For Tony, it was his first low man of the season. Tony's been hanging around, but he has never gotten low man, but he did this week. He is the low man, and the second time that he got the offensive defense with Detroit. He got my previous one from Minnesota's defense, so Detroit kind of did him dirty this time, but it's still, it's a tough game there, and again, both of them were holding on with that little bit of hope, which was dashed by Mr. Connor himself. So there you go. It now just became a meaningless game, just like most of my games have been in the past few weeks.
Well, maybe these guys will have a chance to play spoiler, but not you, Brooks, not next week, because we're going to talk about that in a little while. But yeah, low-scoring game, it is what it is. Not everybody's team can be fighting for a playoff spot, and that's what they brought to the table. Two mediocre teams. I'm not even trying to trash them. I'm just being honest.
And you're right, because Brooks is going to play spoiler in the next couple of weeks.
Not next week. Not next week.
No, next couple of weeks.
All right. Well, that's our fourth game. And now let's get on to our final game of the week, game number 5.
Game number 5.
And our fifth and final game this week, the San Dimas Wild Stallions get a win over Danny's Gaines Villains, 141-89. Hey, another mercy rule. That's the third mercy rule this week. San Dimas goes to 8-5. Gainesville slips to 6-7. Danny would have lost even if he was at 100%. He also wouldn't have hit 100 points at 100%. I left 30 points on the bench, but I don't give a fuck. I got the victory. And I also thought it was kind of interesting that my two top performers got big points in games where their actual teams lost. So thank you, Patrick Mahomes and A.J. Brown, for not giving up, because San Dimas needed you.
And what's Danny's record again?
Hey, Danny's 6-7.
6-7 for Danny. First time all season we've had 3 mercy rules in 1 week, and for Danny, it's actually the first time that he's been mercy ruled. And Andy, you were the one to give it to him. You broke him in nice. I hope you feel good. It's the second time you've got a mercy rule. Do you know who the other person was that you mercy ruled, Andy?
Well, I believe if I paid attention earlier, I believe it was Justin.
You are paying attention. Very good, sir. Very nice.
Okay. I mean, I'm high, but I'm not that fucking high.
But also, Andy, unfortunately, it's the 4th time this season that you've had the biggest burn of the week. Two in a row, actually. 2 weeks in a row you've done that. And actually, it's the 2 weeks in a row that you've been burned by one specific player. What do you have against Stephon Diggs? What's going on over there?
I had Stephon Diggs in the lineup this week.
Well, I know, but you keep putting him in there. You're giving him abuse after abuse after abuse. I don't know why you keep throwing him in there to get kicked around.
Because the one time that I didn't and he scored 30 points, we realized, hey, it's Stephon Diggs. See, again, that's the constant refrain I have about my roster, is that I've got a lot of really good players, but, it's a coin toss every week sometimes. No one cares, Scott. I'm tied for first place in the division, so no one's going to want to hear me bitch and moan. I guarantee it.
Yeah, you and Connor are duking it out, so it'll be interesting, and we'll get into it a little bit. But Danny still has hope, even though you were trying to dash most of those streams this week.
Well, anytime I can crush any of the new guys, it's just my way of introducing them to the league. Hi, I'm your king. Now bend the knee.
Bend over in general.
All right, well, Scott, I don't have a whole lot more to say about my game. I know it was a tough week for Danny. We'll just say that. The Bears crushed the Eagles. Oof. Danny got knocked out of the Kings tournament. He got destroyed by me. And not only did he get destroyed by me, but he had to watch one of his beloved Philadelphia Eagles put up over 30 points against his fantasy team. So, man, life could be good sometimes. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we take a look at next week's schedule, and then I know you're also going to give us a breakdown of what teams need to do to get into the playoffs, but I think it's time for a look ahead.
Yo, it's a look ahead to all the action for next week.
All right, before we start talking about the playoffs, let's just tell you what the schedule is for next week. Pretty much all these games except one could have playoff implications. Barstow, 9-4, going up against the 7-6 Maharaja. Muppet Babies, 8-5, taking on Danny's Gaines Villains at 6-7. The Bad Guys, 8-5, going up against the 5-8 Double Trouble. San Dimas, taking on the Electric Mayhem. I'm not kidding, Brooks. Don't fuck around. Just bet your guys, okay? Do me that favor. We get along. I have respect for you. Lay down. And then in a game that also counts on the records, Walt Disney Imp Daddies at 4-9, going up against the CMK 95%, who are 5-8. So good luck.
That's how I get out of the basement, Andy. That's how I get out of the basement.
That's how you get out of it. That's fine with me. But yeah, if the playoffs started right now, I know that Barstow, the Bad Guys, San Dimas, and the Muppet Babies would be in. But also, if the playoffs started right now, we'd all be kind of surprised because it would seem a couple weeks early.
Yeah, it's interesting how things have gone and how these last 2 weeks are really important here. Nobody has officially clinched a playoff berth. Although Kelly is really, really close. He would have to really implode for him not to make it to the playoffs. And I should mention that I was eliminated last week, and I mentioned that both Brooks and Tony have been eliminated, but also Alex and Skip were also eliminated this week. So there's 4 of us that are eliminated from playoff contention. Kelly would have to, for them to miss the playoffs, it would take a lot. Kelly would need to lose both of his games, one against Justin this week and one against Brooks next week. And even if he lost those 2 games, he probably still would make the playoffs because he would have Jacob would have to win a couple of games and then have to beat him in points. Justin would also have to win 2 games and beat Kelly in points. You would have to win against Brooks this week, and you'd also have to beat him in points by 100 points over the next 2 weeks. And Connor would have to win 2 and beat him by about 50 points if he just won 1. So, all these things would have to happen for Kelly to not make the playoffs. And I'm telling you, right now, if it does, oh my God.
Since we just spent about 45 seconds going over all of it, now, goddammit, I want that to happen. So, sorry, Kelly, we're coming for you. We're going to make all those individual things. Nah, Kelly's making the playoffs. That's fine. I'm just wondering. Let's see what he does.
It pretty much is, yeah. He pretty much is going to make the playoffs, and everybody else is going to be scrambling for the other slots. With the other 8-5 teams, which is Jacob, yourself, and Connor, there's multiple ways that all of you could make it or not make it. But the best way for all of you, basically, is just you control your own destiny. If any of those teams win 2 games, you're pretty much going to be in. So just win your games. If Connor goes out in there and beats Danny and myself, if you go out there and beat Brooks and Justin, or if Jacob goes out in there and beats Alex and Skip and Danny, you guys are you're gonna slide into the playoffs. And all 3 of those things could happen. So, it's a possible.
Well, it's time to take a listen to what Kelly's beloved Raiders, Al Davis, used to say. Just win, baby. Let's just go out,
yeah,
win. And then we'll all get to the playoffs, and then there will be a bunch of disappointed teams, and some lucky son of a bitch gets to win the trophy, even though they probably don't deserve it. And I say that with experience.
Well, there is a possibility that all three of you could win all your games and none of you play each other. So it is possible that all that could happen. And it is possible that all that could happen and Kelly comes in with you, or that he loses a couple and one of the other two, or Justin would join you. Danny wouldn't have a shot at that point because he's sitting at 6 and 7. There's no way he can get Kelly out. He'd have to get one of you three out for him to get in. So it is possible if all three of you get in, for you guys to take Justin with you or to take Kelly with you. But again, it would take a little bit of a miracle for that to happen. Justin, I'll tell you how Justin get in. He needs to win both of his games, and he's got to have more points than you to get in. So he's got to have more points than Andy to bump you out. Or if Connor loses, or if Jacob loses, and Justin has more points than them, he could get in. But those are the ways that Justin could do it. But he needs to win his games against both Kelly and Andy.
Well, that's a lot of math and a lot of confusing scenarios, but I'm glad that you're keeping track of it. I'm glad RTS Sports is keeping track of these things as best they can.
The last person I'll mention is Danny. They could possibly sneak in, even with a 6-7 record now. He can sneak in with 8 and 7. He can still get in, but of course he does need help. But he has to. He has to win both his games. Danny plays against Connor, of course, this first weekend. He plays Jacob the next week. So he has games against people that are both 8 and 5. So he has a tough schedule in a way, but he also controls his destiny. He got to win both of those. And then there's a couple of ways after he does that, but he'll need some help. And the easiest way is to have beat Connor in points, which he's totally. Right now he's currently ahead of Connor in points, but he would have to maintain that to slip his way in. But if he wins both of his games, he's taking out some 8 and 5 people, and that's the person that he can probably, he can either best Jacob or Connor with a couple of losses there. So Danny still has a shot at it, but it's a little bit harder for him. But there you go. Main thing is for everybody, win your games.
Well, I hope you guys are all paying attention because there will be a quiz. The only way you are now allowed into the playoffs is if you can successfully answer 6 different questions based on Scott's playoff scenarios. If you weren't paying attention, just consider yourself eliminated now. So
come join us. I will not be at the bottom of this league. I refuse. And I could play spoiler. That's what's so fun, is because my last game of the year is against the Muppet Babies. And it would please me to no end to play against, with the way I was taunted at the first game of this season, it would please me to no end to beat the Muppet Babies on the final week of the season and ruin their dreams, their hopes, and everything that goes with fantasy football. I would love for that to be the case. So, Connor, I'm coming for you.
I've got no problem with that because, as you know, as I say, so long as your endeavors don't affect mine, I wish you success. And it can only help me, probably, for you to beat Connor. Unless it creates some crazy scenario where then somebody else gets into the playoffs and they beat me. Because that's the thing. It's in the playoffs. It's who gets hot and who doesn't. And who has bad luck and who doesn't. So. Well,
I also mentioned, too, that the person who gets the high points of the league does get money, a substantial amount of money towards the end, too. And right now, Kelly sits on top with 1,712 points. But there's a couple people that can reach him because Jacob's got 1,662 with his few high mans, and both you and Justin are sitting in the low 1,600 points. So you could, with a couple of good weeks and some playoff runs, do well as well, because that goes into the playoffs as well.
Well, you know what that means, because we all have control over these things. In that last game, if you've got a big win over your opponent, don't slow up. Keep scoring. Don't start pulling guys and say, oh, you can't do that. You can't do that. But no, I know what you're saying.
It does count. Even if you're not in the playoffs, it still counts. So play your players.
Play your players. That's right. Get in there, or there will be penalties and zeros. And all right, Scott, listen. I think this is going to actually be a relatively tight, short show, even though obviously I'm going to jam-pack it with all those extra goodies. Oh, man, I really hope Alex was at the gym. I really do. I hope that we actually caught him at the gym, watching it on the treadmill, and then he had to, just move as quick as he fucking could to shut that thing off.
Well, I applaud him for going to the gym, I would say I look around the league, and I don't know, he might be the only one going.
Yeah. There's a side swipe for the rest of us out of nowhere. All of us fat fucks who don't exercise.
Hey, I included myself in that.
No, you did. So we all suck except for you, Alex. So go ahead and steal that underwear.
I don't know.
All right, Scott. Listen, I want to minimize the amount of editing and images I have to create, so I think it's time to wrap up the show. This has been another good one. Remember, there's still a couple exciting fantasy football weeks coming. I mean, anybody could make the playoffs, and anybody could win this thing, and if we've learned anything, is that anything can fucking happen in football, because there's no way the Chicago Bears should be 9-3 and in first place in the NFC. But who knows? Maybe I had a stroke somewhere in September, and this is just all the fever dream.
Hey, Andy, am I in your dreams?
Well, you are now, so I don't know how good of a fever dream this is.
It's the most disappointing fever dream ever.
Don't make me pull the plug again, Scott. Don't make me pull the plug.
Oh, but look, I just want to make sure that I look good. Can you make me look good?
Damn, we look good. Damn, we look good.
Smoking.
The Throne Zone 2025.